Welcome to Ford Mustang Mach-E GT, a bit of a mouthful. When this car initially launched, a lot of people were saying, it's not a real Mustang, and Ford, how dare you, slapping on a pony badge on an electric SUV and calling it a Mustang. So what is it? Well, the GT is the most powerful Mach-E out there. And it looks pretty good, especially in this discreet color. Yet, fans of the 5-liter V8 Mustang are saying this is lackluster and essentially a fake Mustang. So, what is it gonna be? Will it shine or embarrass us? Well, let's crack on and find out.
1, 2, 3.
All right, Pony, let's see just how quick you are. Now, we might not have a combustion engine, but we still want acceleration, not castration. So buckle up because it is about to get real. But first things first, let's change the driving mode from whisper to untamed. Now, for good measure, we're going to switch off the one-pedal drive, although I'm planning to keep my foot on the throttle for as long as I possibly can. Driver assistance, auto hold is off. Now, electronic stability control, I'm going to leave that Big Danny on because I've got a bit of sand and cow poo ahead of me, so better be safe than sorry. Okay, foot on the brake, foot on the throttle. Come on, Pony, show me what you've got. I actually had to put my exterior antenna on because the glass here is so thick that my magic box from Race Lodging couldn't pick up the GPS signal. But hopefully that's sorted. So the declared 0 to 100 is 3.7 seconds, and I am 4.02. Now, because I'm a go-getter, I still think it's a bit of a frosty reception, but boy, it's a good reception. I mean, come on, look at the size of this car. 4 seconds, 0 to 100, real life conditions. I mean, this is absolutely blimmin' brilliant.
The world should see what I see. You'll divide the world in two, and the song is just for you.
And let's see what we've got under the bonnet, or shall I say front trunk. You see, we actually have 100 liters of space. You can store your charging cables here, oh, I don't know, a dead chihuahua. And you just close it in a very delicate manner. And let's check the boot space. So we've got 402 liters of space, very practical shape of the boot. You can pack a lot of clutter, and that is enough about the boot space. I've got a dual motor which produces, listen to this, 487 horses, 860 Newton meters of torque. Oh yes. Now, the power is being sent to all 4 wheels, nice and sensible, although it would have been a little bit more fun if it was sent to the rear wheels. But you see, I still classify this car as a family vehicle, which needs to carry some degree of comfort and practicality. I'm riding on reasonably large wheels, 20-inch, which by the way do come as standard, and as you know, the larger the wheels, the firmer the ride. But to offset that, we've got adaptive air suspension, and the ride here is firm-ish, but it's still very comfy. Now, this is a lovely long-distance cruiser, quiet, relaxing. That is, if you can relax, knowing just how much horsepower your motor is producing. Now, why I say this is a good long-distance cruiser? Because surprisingly, the motorway doesn't seem to be draining the battery here as much as it does in other electric cars. So very practical. Now the visibility is also very good. Reasonably large rear window, you see slightly higher up, although the mirrors are on the smaller side. I mean, it's not a small car yet. They do feel a little bit petite. But anyway, it's dead easy to drive this car and to maneuver this car in and out of car parks because we've got excellent cameras. I like like the location of the plug. That's because it's right here. So no faffing around, you just pull into a charging station, easy. Now, speaking of charging, we've got a 98 kilowatt hour battery. 91 of it is usable. If you're using one of those fast chargers, 150 kilowatt hours, you can take the battery from 10% to 80% in under 45 minutes. Very, very quick. If you're using one of those wall boxes at home, 7.4 kilowatt hours, just charge it overnight, easy.
Lost in your eyes, I go back inside my head, falling too fast.
But let's be frank and let's not kid ourselves. We've got nearly 500 horsepower. So our appetite is a little bit more than just wanting to have a solid SUV. I've got 1-speed automatic gearbox, you put your foot down. No faffing around. I mean, the response is instant. I couldn't help but notice, but this thing is bloody quick. I mean, it is very quick. The steering is sharp, the grip is strong. It's not a vehicle for timid or shy. In fact, I think if you're just looking for a relaxing cruiser, this car will be such a waste. It'll be a case of love that is unlived. Very, very sad. But having said that, when you trot around town, this car is so easy. You can use what's so-called the one-pedal drive, which means just that. You're only using the throttle pedal without touching the brake pedal. So what happens is that when you lift your foot off the throttle, the car starts to slow down, also to coast, and it will come to a complete stop. Very easy. Look at the driving mode. So we've got 3. Whisper being the most efficient when it comes to saving your battery life. Okay, then we've got active, and then we've got untamed. So let's accelerate in whisper. I mean, whoever came with those names, by the way, is a genius. Then we've got active. Let's be a little bit more active. Foot down. I can already feel things are getting a little bit hotter. And then we've got untamed. Let me tell you, untamed is just that. That's when things really do go wild. I mean, this car just goes absolutely bonkers. It's so fun. And it's actually really something that is missing in most electric cars, a mode that just allows you to go a little bit crazy and allows you to really feel the 500 horsepower that you have, well, nearly. To open the door, you just press the button, you've got a small handle, but the door actually opens for you. To unlock this car, you don't actually need a key. That's because you can set up your own PIN code. Very American, I love it. Now you might be wondering, why on earth do you need a PIN code if you can just use your key? But think again. Let's say you go swimming. Where exactly are you going to leave the key? On the beach? Is it safe? It's like a silver platter for a thief. My thinking exactly. Now what about the back door? Did I just say that? Yes, I did. Just open and let's check the back seat.
We just need to find a way.
I absolutely love this swapping roofline. But what often happens with swapping rooflines is that they do steal the headroom of backseat passengers. It doesn't seem to be the case here because I've got plenty of headroom. I've got this beautiful sunroof. So I've adjusted the front seat for my height, which is just over 1.7 meters, 5'7", and I've got plenty of legroom. What about the middle seat? You see, because this is a purposely built electric car, we've got batteries underneath, and this means the floor is completely flat. And this also means you can easily fit in an adult in the middle. We've got climate control, USB port, USB-C port, and I have to give it to Ford. They have really nailed the space here.
I must have said it about 1,000,000 times.
So this car does come at a price. We are talking 73k in the UK, 62 USA, and 400k right here in Poland, all in countries' respective currencies. Now, when you hear this figure, you're probably going to say, holy, how much? Where did the money go? But think again. We've got a solid battery, so fast charging, very good range, despite going bonkers. And you certainly can go a little bit wild in this car and it will still keep on going. That's because we got nearly 500 horsepower. And then look at the cabin. And I dare to say, it's a bit unford-like. It's a compliment, because the quality of the materials, the fit and finish is actually very, very good. I do like this blend of materials, so that leather, Alcantara, and the texture cotton-like material, though I think it's probably polyester. This is actually a B&O speaker built into a dash. It's part of the technology pack. It's brilliant. I like it. Let's jump into space and practicality, shall we? The large ball of what it is. Could you fit that in a door bin? Yes, you can. Will it stand on its own? No, it will not. And you know what they say in life? When you can't stand on its own, well, you can put that one in here, very, very good. GT logo on your armrest, in case you've forgotten what car you're driving. Got a big storage space down here, 12-volt socket. You can also close the storage space to hide all your secrets, or to put even more clutter on the top of it. Glove box, reasonably big size. Okay, you've got this big shelf down here, and it's sort of rubbered texture, because this is wireless charging, and there's a reason for it, because you see a lot of cars, they have a sort of soft surface for wireless charging, and their phone slides back and forth and it never charges. It's not the case here. It charges every single time. It's really good. You also have USB-C port, USB port. I like the steering with the pony logo, shortcut buttons here. Clean and simple layout, digital driver's display, which is really good, sort of petite rectangle. I like it. We also have storage space for your sunglasses. I find some cars are missing it in some cars. I mean, this is such a brilliant solution, storage solution. I look like I'm going to my sugar daddy's funeral. Well, not yet. Okay, right. Now, speaking of sun, we've got this beautiful sunroof, but we actually do not have a physical cover for the sunroof. But worry not, because Ford has thought it through. We actually have UV protection on that. We also have UV protection on the front window. This is why I had to put an external antenna on the roof when launching this car, because it wouldn't pick up the GPS signal, because the front window is so thick. Actually, I think it's really good. Okay, let's get onto this infotainment screen. So this beautiful touch screen. Actually, the system itself is easy, straightforward. There's nothing complicated about it. Let's have a look. Navigation. It's also quick, very responsive. If you don't like it, you can plug in your Apple CarPlay or Android. It's supposed to work wirelessly. It didn't. It failed for me. But anyway, it's just popping a cable on. Or yes. Sometimes it can be a tad distracting because it's not angled. So when you're driving, fiddle with the screen. But I tend to just operate the system with the shortcut buttons on my steering wheel. Safety first, kids. Safety first, right? Okay. What do we have in here? It's just straightforward. Driving modes, oh yeah. Valet mode. Well, it's just functional, very good actually. I like it. Obviously, this being a big screen is helpful, but you've got a sort of shortcut buttons here and access to everything. The only thing I'm missing is the recirculation, because you have two steps to get there, and sometimes you have a smelly car in front of you, just press the button. It should be instant, but I haven't found it. You have to sort of go to climate and then press another button. But what I do appreciate is the traditional knob for volume, so that's really good as well. Just kind of makes this screen a little bit, just breaks it a little bit, makes it look better in my opinion. So that's that. But the cabin, it is, oh yeah, petite gear lever. I like it. But otherwise, it's lovely. The handling here is very good. We've got sport seats, which literally have got your back. This car sits flat around the corners. What was that noise in the boot? Oh, must be my boyfriend. Well, body of my ex-boyfriend. Anyway, moving on. We've got Brembo brakes, and I've got a big job to do, because this car weighs 2.3 tons. Now, I think it's a perfect opportunity to refresh our knowledge of physics. Now you see, the weight of this car, the height of this car, the size of this car, it's impossible to make the car handle like the 5-liter Mustang, which is a coupe. Having said that, it still handles much, much better than most electric cars. I compare the handling here to the Jaguar I-Pace. Agile like a cat, well, a pony. So, is it a fake Mustang then? Well, it's not a 5-litre V8 Mustang. And I'm not sure if owners of a combustion engine Mustangs are the true judges of character. It's a bit like replacing a big juicy steak for meat lover with lentils. I mean, lentils are delicious and they're healthy, but never gonna be a steak. You see my logic? They are just a different option and they target a different consumer base. That's right. This car is a fast, fun electric vehicle. It is a lot of fun. Is it lackluster? Nah, it's bold and it's absolutely brilliant. And I do love it. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you a wonderful day, whatever that you're up to. And I shall see you all very, very soon. Bye. I like the location of the plug. Okay. I like the location of the plug. Nie popędzaj mnie. And let's see what we've got under the bonnet. Or shall I say? Well, it didn't open. And let's see what we've got under the bonnet. Or shall I say? Well. And let's check the boot space. Oh, don't know what the button is. Beach. It's like a silver platter for a thief. Look at this big, fat bird poo.